Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ham Radio Basics Live, Season 4, Episode 30, Ham Radio News and Updates, 7/29/2026. We're at the end of July already. Wouldn't you know it? Wow. And August is a pretty big month. Cooley and Andy, welcome. Thank you guys for stopping by today. Appreciate that. And everybody else that's out there watching, too. And now, remember, we not only are on Ham Radio Basics Live, or Ham Radio Basics, we are also on Bill the Technology Reviewer and Ham Radio Divas. So welcome to all the audience out there watching. Waypoint, New England, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate that. August is a busy month for Ham Radio because we have two big things going on. We're going to cover one of them this week, the Huntsville Ham Fest. We're going to cover that. And then probably next week we're going to cover the Tokyo Ham Fest because there's going to be some big news coming out of that. So I hope you guys are doing well, having a good week. I am. What we're going to do today is I got a PowerPoint presentation, and then after that, we're going to go onto the Huntsville Ham Fest website to kind of go over things, kind of give you guys some expectations if you've never been there before. Now, we haven't been there, and more than likely when I retire, that's going to be a chance for me to get over to Huntsville because I really want to go there not only for the Ham Fest, but for the Space Center that's over there too. It's everybody says if you have ever been interested in anything to do with NASA or outer space, you need to go there. That's the El Primo. So we're going to end up doing something like that after I retire. And I did find out today that there are direct flights from where we live here in Tampa to Huntsville, and it's on Allegiant Airlines, which is a good airline. But the problem is they don't fly every day. And, right now this year, I couldn't say, for example, if I wanted to go this year, I would have to fly up on August the 16th. And as you know, it's not till the 21st. So I'd have to be there for 5 days. And then Lord only knows how long I'd have to stay to get a return flight home. So hopefully maybe next year when I retire and we get a chance to go up there, be able to do that. So we're going to jump into this here, and let me go ahead and start sharing my screen if my computer is going to cooperate today. And let's get that up there. Okay, I think we're there now, maybe. And yes, we are. How about that? All right. Let's go ahead and get that started here. Okay. Wanted to share some, I don't know why it's doing that. I'm having all kind of issues here today, guys. So bear with me here for a second. There we go. All right, finally. I got the right screen up. All right. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, I only do this for a living for the last 40 years. Okay, we're going to do the top 10 things about the Huntsville Ham Fest, and then I'm going to go through the website a little bit. And, a lot of people, it's really kind of like a number 3 on everybody's list as far as Ham Fests are concerned in the United States. Of course, Dayton's the first one. Orlando Hamcation is the second one. But a lot of people don't know about the Huntsville Ham Fest, and I got a chance to, when we went to the last Hamcation, to talk to the folks from Huntsville. Could not be nicer. Those people were just incredibly nice, answered all my questions, very helpful, very friendly, and that's the thing that they say. That's their quote unquote their slogan is the friendliest Ham Fest out there. Okay. Draws thousands of amateur radio operators from across North America. Hundreds of commercial vendors display the newest radios and accessories. One of the country's largest indoor flea markets. Excellent place to compare equipment before buying and meet YouTubers, DXers, contesters, and club members. Now, I do know, and you can take a look here at some of the pictures. You can see it is a huge hall. from what everybody tells me. It's part of what's called the Von Braun Center. It's named after Werner von Braun, who was instrumental in NASA in our rocket program, and it's huge inside. It's large, and from what I understand, if I'm not corrected, is that I believe they might have an area where you can test used equipment, if I'm not mistaken, before you buy it. I think they do. I'm pretty sure that they do. That's what I've heard, and it kind of sets itself apart from other ones. And then they also have a special forum for the YouTubers that are in attendance there. The ones that do shows like Jason, Josh, Mike, To, and others go into these forums, and it's a Q&A session, and it's really, really good. If you've ever had a chance to see it on YouTube, I would definitely recommend watching those things. Okay. And it's, like I said, it's held at the Von Braun Center, and it's inside, which is so nice. It's air conditioned. Of course, Alabama summers are like Florida summers, are hot, humid, and miserable, and you don't have to worry about any of that. It's wide, so it's huge in there. So they have wide aisles, so it's kind of not like it is at other Hamfests, especially. I know Hamcation can be kind of narrow there, and it really does make it easy to go to different vendors with these wide aisles, and there's plenty of room in there, and you can spend the whole day in there. And like I said, you're inside. You don't have to worry about rain. Now it is in downtown Huntsville, so be mindful of that when you. And there are. I'm going to go out to the website, and we're gonna look at some things as far as that's concerned. So, outstanding technical forums, and they have some great forums there. Presentations on HF antennas and digital modes, satellite and emergency communication sessions, learn from industry experts and experienced operators, excellent Q&A opportunities, and new topics offered throughout the weekend. Some of those seminars are really good. I mean, you can probably go around a couple times to go through the flea market, and you've probably seen what you've want to. You probably stopped at Gigaparts or HRO, and got your stuff that you wanted to get. These forums offer an opportunity to get a lot of questions answered, and a lot of times you'll see people from Yaesu or ICOM there. I know a lot of times John from Yaesu has spoken over at Hamcation. I'm not sure about Ray, if he speaks at any of these, Ray Novak from ICOM. But these are great. This is a great place to get some one-on-one time with some of these experts from some of these ham radio companies. So avail yourself of these opportunities. And I mean, it's really a bargain when we look at the price of the ticket here. So, all right, massive indoor flea market, like I said, thousands of pieces of used equipment, radios, keys, test gear, hard to find parts and accessories. Great place to negotiate deals, and many hidden treasures every year. And I want to stop at this point just to let you know and give you an idea. I believe they said that they had last year's attendance was about 5,400, which is fantastic considering this is like the third largest Hamfest in the United States. I think they got something, and I'm not 100% sure. Up in Orlando, I forget what the numbers were for. Dayton was off the charts. I think Dayton had like at Hamvention like about maybe 20,000 people for the weekend, which is huge. But 5,000 here, that is fantastic. You can see how that this is a large hall here. All right. Major manufacturers attend. See the latest radios in person. Factory representatives answer questions. Hands-on demonstrations. Special Hamfest pricing. And compare brands side by side. And you can see ICOM, Yaesu, Flex Radio, Elecraft, DX Engineering, Ham Radio Outlets, Gigaparts, of course, because they have. And that's another thing about going to Huntsville. You can visit their store there. Radio Oddity, Diamond Antenna, Comet Antenna, Tar Heel Designs, and Wriggle Technologies. So they're very well represented there. And what amazes me is a lot of people that go to Hamfest, they buy things there, and I understand, you wanted to get something, but why don't you get it and order it online and get it shipped to you instead of having to carry it around. I don't know. That's one of the things I kind of like. I can see getting small things like antennas and cables and some connectors and things like that. But anything of substance, maybe a transceiver or things like that, why don't you get it mailed? That's one of my things. But oh well. Okay. They do have a youth lounge there, and it's really good. They really get the youth, the teens, and early 20-somethings involved with this. And I think it's great. They really do a good job at that. They have STEM learning opportunities there, hands-on building projects. And it really does encourage the next generation of hams. When you get people excited at an early age, like being a mid to late teenager, in this, it really starts a wonderful lifetime of becoming a ham radio operator and getting their feet wet with things. And it's done in a very friendly atmosphere. And again, there's no extra cost for any of this. There may be a registration for that, but I'm not sure. But that would be something I would highly encourage you guys, if you have youth, to go ahead and have them definitely check that out. Now, as I said, one of the big attractions there is the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. And apparently, I think that's a full mock-up. That would have been one of the Apollos that's standing out there at the Space Center. And there's a lot of great restaurants there, from what everybody has said, and a lot of shopping and entertainment. And it's really a good time for a family trip. It really is. There's a lot to do there, and especially at the Space Center, I could probably spend a couple days there myself. So that would definitely be on my list. Now, this year it's something new. They haven't had it for a while. ARRL is having their national convention at the Huntsville Ham Fest. And they do have some national level guest speakers. They have special exhibits there, some additional technical forums, and you get a chance to meet some of the who's who and muckety mucks from ARRL. So, it's a chance to talk to them one-on-one and maybe pass some things on to them, in a constructive way. Don't really blast them. But one of my things has been with ARRL is when I first got on the web, I said that website could really use a serious refresh in how it works. And I think they're constrained by their budget and the amount of people that they have employed, and they have a priority list of things to do. So, but it's good that they're on site. It's good you can engage and talk to them and ask questions. And remember, a couple of big things about them, and this is something I try to strive to everybody, is, yeah, Cooley, I am too. I really am. I really am. That's great, Andy. That is fantastic. Yeah, I'm real pleased with. Thank you for confirming that. Yeah, I'm really excited about getting there. I know a lot of the YouTubers, they camp. There's a nearby state park that they camp at, and a lot of them have cookouts and things there. So you can, if you're connected up with them, you could probably get with them and find that out. So, all right, the two big prizes this year are pretty doggone nice. They're giving away an ICOM IC7300 MK2 on Saturday. You don't have to be present. On Sunday, they're giving away an ICOM IC7300 MK2, but you might have to be present through that. Now, they do have hourly door prizes that they're giving away, and in order to make it easier for you to find, it's on the ARRL events app, so you can check that constantly instead of going to find a message board or find out who's won. It'll tell you that there. Admission tickets include a drawing ticket for eligible prize drawing. So if you get an admission ticket, it actually includes a chance to win one of those great prizes. And Southern hospitality, friendly volunteers, well-organized event, helpful vendors, relaxed atmosphere, and many visitors return year after year. And you can see it's just like I said, it really really lends itself. And really, they live up to that motto of being the friendliest ham fest, and they really are. They really do a good job at that, and they really do a good job at welcoming people there. And everybody that I've talked to that have been there have said that they've really had a good time. They've really enjoyed themselves. And also, too, they really thought about where something like this is held. And if you've been to Hamvention or Hamcation, don't get me wrong. I like going there. I like going to both of those. But if you go to Hamcation, those buildings are older. They're smaller, and the tables have to be, are kind of closer together. And there's not a lot of room to negotiate in there. That's really kind of hard to do. And, it's a little more open at Dayton, but still, the buildings are so spread out. I mean, you really have to have your walking shoes on that day to get from building to building to building to see any of the vendors that you want to go see. But here, everything's in one hall. It's air conditioned. It's wide. It's spacious. It's easy. Parking is easy, even though it's in downtown Huntsville. It's definitely a destination kind of place, and it's something that I would definitely recommend here. So, questions? Subscribe to Ham Radio Basics live from Studio B. We're going to go ahead right now. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the website. Let me go ahead and bring that up here. And I thought I had that up, and I don't. So let me go ahead and X out of that. All right, there we go. All right. All right. You see 22 Von Braun Center, South Hall, 700 Monroe Street, Huntsville, Alabama, August 22nd and 23rd. Now, it's, a lot of people think that it starts on Friday. It does not start on Friday, okay? They probably have a special preview. Some YouTubers may be able to get in and others, but it's Saturday and Sunday. And the hours are Saturday 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Sunday 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tickets right now, if you purchase them ahead of time, they're $12. At the door, they're $15. Scouts and Royal Rangers in uniform, 12 and under, are free. So that's a wonderful thing right there. And again, as I said, again, 2026, Huntsville Hamfest will host the ARRL National Convention here. And it's really done. They did a real good job on their website. So a lot of kudos to the Huntsville Hamfest group in terms of what things are like here. So let's go ahead and take a look at some things here. Attention, the flea market tables are currently sold out. Okay, that's a good thing. And you can see, again, some of the pictures of them there. And there's some of the volunteers. Let's go ahead and take a look at the event info. See what comes up here. Hamfest hours, parking. They do have license exam, DX card checking, hospitality suite, YL breakfast for the youth, talk-in station. There's a Thursday night net. Gathering on Mount Sano 2026. That's available. Dixieland Geezers Dinner and X Factor event. Friday night meet and eat. And adult soldering class. So let's take a look here at dealer show. Okay. There's not much there on that. And take a look at the forums and see what's going on as far as forums are concerned. Here's a list of the forums that are there. There's a list for Saturday, a list for Sunday, and shows some pictures from them. And now here, this is also pretty important too. Some hotel info. Again, this is in downtown. It's located in downtown Huntsville, and some of these properties are, you can tell right here, they're not in downtown Huntsville, so you want to pay attention to something like that if you're traveling. If you haven't been there, you would need to know that. And you'd see right here that some of these properties are, it's maybe about probably a 10 or 15 minute trip, so you need to plan accordingly as far as that would be concerned. And there are plenty of choices to stay there. There are quite a bit, so. They've negotiated rates for guests attending the Huntsville Hamfest. Recommend these close-in hotels. And I definitely, if this is if you're considering going, if you haven't gone yet, or if you haven't made reservations yet, you probably want to do them pretty quick because it's coming up in a couple of weeks. But if you plan on going next year, go onto the website here. This is what I highly recommend if you're going to go ahead and go to, say, like Hamvention, Hamcation, or the Huntsville Hamfest, is to do something like this. That really helps out a lot as far as that's concerned. So let's take a look here at about. You can see again that's the South Hall. That's where it's being held. Huntsville Hamfest committee. There's quite a bit of people right there. And these people are very dedicated. I mean, it's all volunteer. They're doing this because they really love ham radio and they love showing off their city. And why not? They do a really good job as far as that's concerned. So let's see if I can find. Let's go to maps and parking here. You can see right here. This is the Von Braun Center. This is where it's at, right here where my mouse is right now. There's underground parking right in front of it. There's some parking lots to the side and to the back of it. But obviously, the early bird gets the worm as far as that's concerned. So the earlier you get there, probably the better. And let's look and see. There's a floor plan. This is what the floor plan looks like, and you can see. What the dealer hospitality is in that area. Testing entrance is over there. Hamfest entrance is here. I'm going to take a look at some. Now these are probably, I assume, the vendors, and these are probably, I assume, the flea market tables that are set up over there. So I hope this gave you a good flavor for the Huntsville Hamfest. Oh, okay. Robert, that's fantastic. I'm glad you checked in to let us know that. That's a good thing, and I really think a lot of people, this needs to kind of be on your radar list. If you're a ham radio enthusiast, you need to go to something like this. We're going to make arrangements when I retire, and we're definitely going to get there by hook or by crook. It just lends itself. It's very friendly. It's all in one building. And it really kind of helps when things are together, people are there, and you get a chance. It's great because the greatest thing I think is getting a chance to meet fellow hams while you're there. Wear your badge, talk to others, just to chew the fat with them, see what they do, how they operate, all that kind of good things. You just share, and that's a really good thing. W9 BGL, thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. That's great, and we hope to see more people going there. I know Josh goes there. I know Jason goes there. I know Mike from Ham Radio Tube goes there, and probably I think To goes there as well. There are some others I do see that are probably going to go as well. It is a bit. It's not drivable for me. Okay, it's probably over a 12-hour trip. So that would definitely be something we would definitely fly. And I'm hopeful that Allegiant would have it in such a way that we wouldn't have to stay there more than a week as far as that would be concerned. So, but anyway, all told, I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. If you get a chance to, if you're still able to, definitely make some reservations and get out there. You will not be disappointed. You will have a lot of fun. I can guarantee you that. From everybody that's been there that I've talked to, they've really said they've had a great time. The people there are absolutely friendly. And you got a couple of great door prizes that you can win, plus daily prizes as well. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week. As always, guys, it's a great day to make a QSO. 7-3s, everybody. See you next week.